The most forgotten of the forgotten, an entire corps of 96,000, but few people know of their existence.
The men who volunteered in the Chinese Labour Corps did essential work behind the front lines. They laid railway tracks, transported munitions and dug the actual trenches. And yet their part in the war effort is almost entirely absent from the historical record.
Until very recently, no one has really paid much attention to the role of China as a participant in the First World War. And so one of the key purposes of the exhibition has been to cast a bright light upon the 96,000 Chinese volunteers who chose to come and serve under British Army command on the Western Front.
Many came seeking adventure, but it was also an opportunity to learn to read and write and see the Western world, experiences they would return home with and would later play a large part in shaping China's future. They earned a French franc a day, roughly equivalent to the shilling earned by the British troops, but in addition, $10 a month was sent home to their families. When the war ended, the work of the Chinese Labour Corps did not.
In the years after the war, also took on the really very unenviable tasks of clearing unexploded munitions and reburying the war dead. Their role was absolutely huge, and in the post-war period was really crucial to bringing huge areas of France and Flanders back under the plough. It made it possible for people to farm again in what had been the killing fields of Northern Europe, and allowed Europe rapidly to become self-sufficient in food again. So it's a four-clawed dragon, so it's a high-status dragon. The more claws, the higher the status. But one of the other things which was really, really distinctive about the members of the Labour Corps was their artistic skills. Some painted, but others took advantage of the fact that they were tasked with clearing the battlefields of old shell cases and munitions, to take shell cases and to decorate them through embossing and engraving, and turn the detritus of war into objects of beauty that they could sell on to other servicemen or to battlefield tourists who came to the fields of France and Flanders in the immediate post-war period.
One of the items on display is a huge silk banner bearing the names of hundreds of workers, presented as a parting gift to their commanding officer. The photographs show the young men at work and play, largely informal, unstaged. They give a rare glimpse of life behind the front line.
This, for me, is one of the finest images in the exhibition and one of my favourite pieces in the show. These are clearly young men in the prime of their life having a really good time on that particular day. The joy of a moment 100 years ago has been captured by the camera for all eternity.
The characters in the pictures, the faces, you can see the happiness and the sadness in at the same time. It's unbelievable. The exhibition is absolutely stunning. It's brilliant. I'm a 65-year-old man and never once realised that the Chinese fought with us in the First World War.
Despite their huge contribution, no memorial exists to the young men of the Chinese Labour Corps. The forget-me-nots scattered around the museum are the emblem of a campaign to create a monument in London.
They travelled thousands of miles. They worked incredibly hard. They endured bombardments, they endured aerial bombing, they endured shelling, disease and privation, and many of them never returned home. They served under British colours, they served under British command, and I think Britain owes them a debt, a huge debt.
The exhibition is the first of its kind and is on until September. Hannah King, Forces News in Durham.